Mike Quigley, who was on with us yesterday, one of the things he continues to say is that Biden will drag us all down. If he stays on the ticket, it's going to hurt House Democrats. What do the numbers say right now in terms of the House?
Yeah, I mean, look, they may be able to run slightly ahead of Joe Biden, but the fact of the matter is, you look at the national polling, the generic congressional ballot choice for U.S. House. Look at this. CNN poll, +2 Republican. Wall Street Journal poll, +3 Republican. Monmouth University poll, +3 Republican. Yeah, Joe Biden may be in slightly worse shape in these particular polls, but the fact is when Biden's down 4, 5, 6 points in these polls, you can only run so far ahead of Joe Biden. At this particular point, at least in the race for the House, it does seem like Republicans are ahead because Donald Trump is so far ahead.
What's the Senate landscape?
Yeah, what's the Senate landscape? I mean, take a look here. GOP needs just a gain of 1 for control if Trump wins. And their path is extremely clear because their best chance for a pickup opportunity is in West Virginia. That's a very likely GOP win with Joe Manchin retiring. And the best Dem pickup chance, perhaps to reverse that so the GOP doesn't gain a net gain of at least 1, is Texas. But that's still a likely GOP win. So the fact is, if Donald Trump wins this election, the race for the Senate, for all intents and purposes in my mind, is over.
This is exactly what we've been predicting, gang. They're panicking over the down ticket disaster in the midst of this Biden political implosion. There's simply not enough butter for the amount of popcorn we're going to be eating, gang. We are going to see the latest developments as Biden's presidency hangs by a thread, and we're going to see exactly the two sides of a very real civil war that's erupting inside the Democrat Party just a mere 100 days away from the election. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you stay sane in these insane times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, did you see this headline in Forbes just from a couple of weeks back? The Fed quietly admits gold is replacing the dollar. And this is because more and more nations are starting to turn away from the dollar as the world's reserve currency. And so it's no surprise that central banks around the world are ditching the dollar and gobbling up gold like never before. That's why the price of gold is expected to continue to climb, because when all is said and done, more and more nations are turning back to the timeless value of gold and silver. So that's why we have as one of our wonderful friends and sponsors the amazing company Goldco, because they're patriots just like us who want to help you and guide you in how to get into precious metals completely tax-free and penalty-free. In fact, if you click on that link below right now, you can get your very own absolutely free gold and silver kits, an amazing free resource that shows you step by step how to get into precious metals, even if your money's still in a retirement account like an IRA or a 401k. And just to show you how awesome the patriots over at Goldco are, the best part is that you may actually already qualify to get up to $10,000 in free silver. I told you they're the best, so what are you waiting for? Get in on the action by clicking on that link below or going to turleytalkslikesgold.com and get your free gold and silver kit. Gang, it promises to be a real life changer. Click on that link below right now. Congressional Democrats are holding several emergency meetings today on Capitol Hill to address the single issue that has come to dominate the 2024 presidential campaign, whether or not Joe Biden is fit for office. Biden, of course, aggressively reaffirmed his commitment to the campaign yesterday in a bitterly worded letter he sent to his wary Democrat congressman. But alas, for many, it was to no avail. Here's Illinois Representative Mike Quigley.
The fighting spirit and pride and courage that served the country so well 4 years ago helped Joe Biden win. We'll bring the ticket down this time. He just has to step down because he can't win. And my colleagues need to recognize that a dismissive letter is not going to change any minds.
Now, you don't have to look far to see what's so concerning to so many Democrats like Quigley. Take a look at the latest CBS poll. Gang, look at this. 72% of voters, 72% think Biden should end his campaign. I mean, let that hit you. 72% think Biden should drop out after that disastrous debate performance. 86%, of course, say it's because of his age. Again, I don't I don't mean to show off here again. Well, I'm speaking on behalf of all of us here at this channel. This is exactly what we predicted. This is exactly what we've been saying for months now. Biden's senility, his age and his senility are his Achilles heel. It's not the economy. It's not inflation. It's not the southern border. It's not violent crime. It's not the threat of nuclear war. Those are all bad enough. But there's an underlying subtext underneath all these disasters, and that's Biden's painfully obvious degenerative senility. This is Biden's Achilles heel. And again, the reason for that is simple. Everything else can be reversed. The economy can be reversed. His disastrous border policies can be reversed. His disastrous foreign policies can be reversed. His disastrous inflation can be, any and every issue can be reversed. It can be rectified, except his senility. His age and his senility are the only things in this campaign that have no possibility of reversing themselves. This is Biden's Achilles heel. And the Democrats and the legacy media have always known this. They've always known that voters are not going to re-elect a president they believe is not cognitively fit for the job. Read the polls. That's why they've been hiding it for the last 3.5 years. That's why they've been spending so much time lying to you, trying to gaslight you into thinking you were not seeing what we were all obviously seeing. And then that last Thursday night debate, they couldn't hide it anymore. And so now the legacy media is doing everything they possibly can to salvage what remaining credibility they have left. I mean, gang, even the ultra leftist Jon Stewart of The Daily Show has had enough.
But Biden's performance and inability to articulate at times was stunning. Like, I could not believe what I was watching. Just thinking about it again just makes me want to rip up my... Why do we make this out of such strong material? But then it got worse. Rather than respecting the American people and having an honest, at least partial conversation about what we had all seen, we were told immediately, these are not the droids you're looking for.
He has a stutter.
He hasn't debated in 4 years.
He was almost over-prepared.
He had an off night. People have an off night.
You know, the president traveled 6 time zones forward to G7, and he was also continued to do his presidential duties. And also he had a cold. He was jet-lagged.
He'd been home for almost 2 weeks. He was jet-lagged? How big is that f***ing jet? The point is, for a campaign based on honesty and decency, the spin about the debate appears to be blatant bullshit.
That, my friends, appears to be a lifelong Democrat who is actually coming to the realization that liberals lie. Liberal Democrats lie. And of course they do, because they don't know what truth is. They don't even know what a woman is. Democrats by nature lie. The whole attempt at spinning this debate, what the Biden team has been desperately trying to do, right, is spin this debate by saying it was just so hard for Joe to debate a liar. They seem so completely self-unaware that they're trying to blame Trump for doing that night what they've been doing for 3.5 years. And no one's buying it. No one, not even Jon Stewart. You cannot plausibly complain that your debate opponent lies when your entire administration has been a lie. But alas, when all is said and done, all of this may actually be completely irrelevant in terms of what any particular Democrat or political pundit thinks. And that's because in the end, this does appear to be ultimately a showdown, a civil war between donors and delegates. Now, we talked about this in our first video today. This is very important. This is a very interesting development that's been happening behind the scenes. When all's said and done, donors have basically been disappearing from Biden. They're jumping ship, okay? And particularly mega donors. They're jumping ship. You have to dig a little bit in the search engine, as it were. You have to get through the headlines on the ruckus of Capitol Hill or Van Jones latest rant or something like that. But if you do your research, you'll find article after article after article that shows that donor after donor, Democrat donor after Democrat donor are indeed fleeing the sinking ship. But at the exact same time as Biden's donors are fleeing, his delegates are coalescing around him. So this is what's perhaps the most fascinating development in terms of what's happening, this clash that's happening behind the scenes. Remember, what's happening right now as we speak is that ballots are all being sent out to all of Biden's delegates. Those ballots should be returned in the next week or so. And keep in mind, according to DNC's own rules, those delegates are legally bound to Biden. So what we're seeing here is that this thing is coming down to a face-off between donors and delegates. Biden looks like he's going to get the delegates he needs to get the nomination, but not the donors he needs to win the election. And again, the pressure here is that this is adversely affecting Democrats' down ticket, because there are a number of mega donors who are coming out and saying that they're withholding their money from the Democrats as a whole until Biden is forced out. They don't want to be a part of this sinking ship. And they realize that if he goes down, the whole party is going to likely go down with him. So there really does appear to be a full-blown civil war erupting between donors and delegates. And we're all buttering the popcorn to see in the end how it all turns out.